line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there.
She's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Just lay down.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Damn. It's 7 a.m. That was fun last night. Like, I don't know if you stayed up and watched Monday Night Football and watched it to the end and because it didn't matter and it was preseason football. And all right. All that might be right. That was a football game that felt like it mattered, that ended on a last minute, not seconds, there was 10 seconds left, field goal to break a streak that I don't even know you knew about with emotion, and it looked like they really gave a damn. Like, I don't know about you, but I felt like I was watching a real football game last night. What's up? A good Tuesday to you, opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck in D.C. How you living?
What'd it do? Yeah, that did feel like a real game.
Did you sit around and watch the end of it?
No, and I'm going to go back and rewatch, but I've seen the highlights enough that I regret not staying up.
Did you?
I did. And it's something that Baltimore, they're like, we want to continue this streak. We are proud of it. And everyone's talking junk about it. Washington's talking junk. The players were like, it's preseason. It doesn't matter. But when it got down to the end of that game, Washington knew that streak was on the line because those dudes were playing hard. And after that field goal went in, you're like, wait a second. These guys actually talking bleep at the end of a preseason game?
Right.
Yes, they were.
So what is the streak? What is this streak of which you're speaking? What the hell are you talking about? Streak? What do you, I mean, it's preseason. What are we talking about with a streak? I didn't know. Did you know about the streak going in? How did you did?
They talk about it a lot on NFL Network. So yeah, I'd been hearing about it.
Did you know about it?
I did.
I learned about it yesterday afternoon. And the Ravens had won 24 straight preseason games. And they were asked about it, and, it's stupid. It doesn't matter. I don't know, man. I watched last night, and this stupid, meaningless, nothing about it, dumb little, it meant something. It obviously meant something, and it meant something to the team 40 miles down the Beltway to go out and snap that streak. And Washington did it on Joey Sly's 49-yard field goal with 9 seconds left. And it gave Baltimore their first loss of the preseason. What year is this? 2023? Since 2015. What were you doing in 2015? First loss of the preseason since 2015, 3 years before the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson.
I went back to school in 2015. That's kind of a crazy thought. Lots happened since then.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. Ravens cornerback Corey Mayfield was called for pass interference on 4th and 11. There's a minute for the game. The game might have, but it was an absolute no-brainer of a pass interference. Don't you think? Down by about the 3-yard line, and then they went in and scored. And after the game, John Harbaugh, the coach of the Ravens, quote, "The thing about something like that, I just told our guys, you're proud of it, you appreciate it, but the thing that you're proud of is all those games are mostly like that," end quote. Meaning they end on something weird. I don't know. It doesn't mean a damn thing. And we'll get into what you saw out of Sam Howell. And all I know is I watched a football game last night that for the first time this year, and I'll get more this Saturday.
Had some energy to it.
It felt like people gave a damn who won, and I'm like, oh yeah, buddy, this is good. That's all I know. I don't know what you guys saw.
I saw that at the end, and the way that the coaches reacting, the shot of John Harbaugh on the sideline after there was a pass breakup late in the fourth quarter. It's like, incomplete. Yep. Yeah, let's go. They're sending all-out blitzes at the end of the third-string quarterback. You're like, okay, this is fun. Like, there's something on the line. And if you're Baltimore, that coaching staff, I think you appreciate how those players played at the end of the game.
Yes.
Because there's a nice chunk of them that are not going to be on your roster in the coming week or so when you start having more cutdowns as you get close to the regular season. And if you're Washington, you guys were engaged late in it. It was fun to see. It shows the competitive nature is always going to be there. You can talk junk all you want about the preseason and how it's so hard to watch or it's meaningless football, but when you're in that position, that is your moment. Because you might never get that moment again.
Totally agree. The ownership, the new ownership, this was the first big moment for the new ownership group. The new owner, the primary owner was all over it, pumping fists. Magic Johnson, a minority owner, tweeted, "I know it's only preseason, but the Commanders' victory over the Ravens to end the NFL preseason win streak was a lot of fun for Commanders fans." Magic's the worst tweet follow ever, by the way.
Culture. Brand new culture. It's culture of winning in Washington.
It's really interesting. And so I'm glad you brought that up because that was the perfect team to end that streak. It was Washington because all of the talk about the culture, the end of the Daniel Snyder ugliness, the dark cloud that was around that, and with this new group and Troy and Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Joe Buck spent half the night talking about how it's been such a dark time for Washington fans and how it used to be one of the greatest places in the NFL and so hard to come into and the fans and it felt apathetic and they were bad over the last bunch of years and Daniel Snyder was such a bad guy and all the reset, right? The whole reset story that went into it. And this is a team not across the country, but 40 miles away, right? Commander fans work with Ravens fans. People from Baltimore interact all the time with DC. They're right next to each other. I don't know. It felt like way more than some stupid Monday night week 2 preseason game to watch Sam Howell play. It felt like it really meant something to the Commanders. I don't know that this launches them. Their best receiver, Terry McLaurin, hurt his toe and left the game. But I don't know. It felt like a whole lot more. It was something. It was fun to watch football last night. What's up? Welcome to the opening drive, 505-246-0610. That's how to get a hold of us here at The Sports Animal, your home for the National Football League. We'll have your Monday night games and your Thursday night games and your Sunday night games. And if you're listening to the NFL, you're listening to The Sports Animal. We're going to talk a whole lot of football today. Yesterday, we had a conversation about helmets and those Guardian caps, those kind of puffy, what'd you call them, like airbags for your helmet? Is that kind of what they were?
Yeah, that's how they're described.
All right. So the guy, one of their, who is it? The big sales guy? This guy named Tony Plagman, who's going to be with us?
Yeah, he's the national sales manager and media relations.
All right. So GC tracked down that guy that he just told you about over at Guardian Caps because we have a conversation. Why not have him in games? And I'm interested in the technology and where that's going. And I know you are too. And so he's going to join us at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk to him. And I'm really excited to talk to him about the technology and where they've come and how much more protection it gives. And is it something that's close to being legal, used in games? So we'll do that at 9 o'clock. And then coming up here in a few minutes at 7:15, Jerry Kill's going to be with us, New Mexico State's football coach, because they play a game that matters on Saturday. 0 week, and the whole country's going to be watching them on ESPN against UMass. So that's a big
We're going to look up and go, wait a second. It's college football.
It's right there staring at you, by the way. All right, coming out of last night, what do you think of your boy Sam Howell? 5th round pick out of North Carolina. People said if he came out the year prior, he probably would have been a 1st round pick. He's their quarterback. He looked in command for the Washington Commanders. 19 for 25, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got receivers. He's got Brian Robinson out of the backfield, who he targeted 9 times. No, I'm sorry. He caught, what did he catch, 5 balls? 4 balls. He's got Jahan Dotson, who's good. Terry McLaurin, who's good. And De'Ami Brown, who's good. What do you think of your boy Sam Howell?
I thought you saw out of Sam Howell enough to be confident that this offense is going to be able to move the football. They're going to put in positions to be aggressive. The playmakers that you just laid down, there's enough there to where if Sam Howell can be a competitive player, we're not going to look at this offense and go, well, it just doesn't have anything. How's a young quarterback supposed to play? But they do. And that is why when we're having the conversation about the NFC, Washington, even with Sam Howell at quarterback, is one of those teams like they could make the playoffs.
Yeah. What did you think of him as you watched him?
I think they might have found something there in the 5th round. So it is good to see competent quarterback play in the preseason. I think Washington fans have a lot to be excited about.
I'm going to tap the brakes just a touch. Okay, I liked him too. He wasn't playing against the first-string defense. All right, so he was playing against guys, JJ, as you said, many of whom will not be there. And so I walk out of there with optimism for Washington fans. I liked him too, and I think he's got weapons, and it looked like he had poise. I'm going to pause a bit until I see him against a first-string defense, but I'm going to lean to, all right, maybe they got something. I'm going to lean to Ron Rivera and Eric Bieniemy might know a little bit of something, what they're talking about, and I'm going to lean that way too. We're talking a lot of NFL today, and we'll get back into this coming up at the bottom of the hour, which is 7:30, but when we come back, it is game week down in Las Cruces, and one of the teams, I'm not telling you for a national championship, but one of the teams a lot of people are talking about around the country is New Mexico State. And they're talking about him because of Jerry Kill, a nationally respected coach who turned this thing around in one season. They win a bowl game. They're opening up at home on ESPN against UMass on Saturday. Jerry Kill's going to be with us. And I'm really, really, really excited to talk to him. And he's going to tell us, I want to know why he thinks they're even better than they were last year. That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Do you know the last time New Mexico State had a home game on ESPN? So they're prime time on ESPN this coming Saturday night, 5 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Do you know the last time ESPN did a game on ESPN1 out of Las Cruces? Do you know how long it's been?
It's been a while.
17 years. was the last time ESPN was did a game out of there on ESPN1. And they'll be doing that this weekend.
So there's a generation of kids that have never seen it.
That's correct. My daughter's never seen a game on ESPN1 live out of Las Cruces. That's 100% correct. Aggies will open up Conference USA play. Well, or play as members of Conference USA. It's not a conference game against UMass. And it's a big deal, and the country's going to be watching. And I know a lot of people down there are looking forward to it. We are efforting Jerry Kill. And when we get a hold of him, we're going to talk to him about what's such a big deal. How's that town popping, and why they are going to be better this year. And looking forward to having this conversation because, JJ, it's amazing when you look at some of these lists. I saw top 50 quarterbacks list. Diego Pavia's on there. Wow. I saw a top 50 coaches list. Jerry Kill was in the top 30, right? I mean, just what he's done, the recognition. I'm not telling you they're going to the national championship. I'm going to tell you they win the Sugar Bowl. But what I'm telling you is what he's brought.
An unbelievable turnaround from what they were from a program that couldn't even be on the field in the 2020 season, independent, scrambling for everything, to they are competitive, they're better across the board, and they have a really good college quarterback. Diego Pavia is your classic, really good, competitive, can win you games in college football.
Yeah. We had a conversation with him last Friday, and if you've not heard that, I do think it's worth your time. Take a look at our podcasts. Go to sportsanimalabq.com and listen to the Diego Pavia conversation. He's their quarterback, Volcano Vista High School here in Albuquerque. Wasn't recruited. Went to junior college. Won a junior college national championship at New Mexico Military Institute. Went to New Mexico State. Kind of battled back and forth, him and Gavin Frakes. The first 5 games went back and forth, who's the starter, and then he took over and became kind of a national phenomenon during that bowl game when he won the bowl game. So when we get a hold of Jerry, we'll talk about their game coming up and looking forward to it.
And you've done a great job with their special teams. People didn't know last year you were invited down to help the kickers and be their special teams coach. And if you look at Ethan Albertson, he's established himself as one of the best kickers in the country right now. Field goal percentage, 77.7%.
See what I went down there?
Top 10 in field goals made in program history with 28. You've done a fantastic job.
DC, you weren't here last year. They were having problems when they started off 1-5 New Mexico State, and they were having nothing was going right, including their place kicking. Their kicker was missing, and Jerry said, "Well, if you come down, will you come down and work with him?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I'll be down there." So I'm taking the credit for that.
It's funny. I actually listened to that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was in the process of moving, and I remember quite well thinking, did he just ask the host to come down and coach the team?
Yep, I'm on my way. Got a meeting this afternoon. I'll be down after that. All right, so if we get hold of Jerry, we'll certainly have that conversation because I'm looking forward to it. This is big. Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts has been granted permission by the team to go out and find a trade. Now, what does that mean? It's not, hey, call up the Chiefs and have them offer you up a bag of balls and some shoelaces, and you're getting Jonathan Taylor. It means that, fine, have your agents start making calls, but we want significant trade compensation for you. We want a first-round draft pick or a collection of draft picks that equates to a first-round draft pick. Now, no offer had materialized as of this morning, and I guess there's plenty of teams that are weighing what fair value, because I want you to think about this. Whoever it is, and wherever you think Jonathan Taylor fits, right? Give me your team. Is it Buffalo? Is it? He fits anywhere, right? But give me a team that might be close that he could push over the top. Would it be? Hell, they're not going to trade him to Jacksonville, I don't think, because that's in division, right? But would it be
Miami?
Okay, I'd listen to that.
They like to play that game of future first.
What about Philly?
Impact players.
What about Philly?
I don't think it would, because the challenge you have with acquiring Jonathan Taylor is his contract is up.
Well, that's where I'm going next, right? Okay.
So if you have a quarterback that you haven't extended yet or could still be on his rookie deal.
Fair enough.
Which, a team that is, it's Indianapolis.
Yeah. All right. So not only do they have to give up the value for the trade, right? Whatever it's going to cost them. Then they got to pay Jonathan Taylor, because you're not going to give all that up to get a guy who's on the last year of his deal, pay him $10 million and watch him walk next year. So whoever it is, to JJ's point, has to have the cap room moving forward to sign Jonathan Taylor to what 13, 14, 15, what's he going to demand before he signs a long-term deal? $1 million a year with probably 40 something guaranteed, right? So wherever that happens to be, it's not as easy as, all right, Jonathan Taylor's on the market, go get him. Seattle's interesting to me in that regard, but they've got 2 running backs that they like, 2 young running backs. Who's close that you think a running back can make a difference? Bears? I know you like the Bears. I don't think they're as close as you think they are, but Lions just drafted a running back. Minnesota
would be really interesting. They obviously have a hole with Cook leaving.
They love Alexander Madison, I think. They've got an older quarterback, so you think either they're going in the draft pool next year, so JJ moving forward, they might be on a new contract unless they re-sign Kirk Cousins. Minnesota might work.
Dallas is another one.
Dallas is interesting, but I think they like Pollard a lot, right? And they're paying he's on $10 million, $10.1 million. They're going to pay another running back that kind of money?
No, they're not. Although I can't see Tony Pollard holding up for as many carries as he could.
Doesn't matter. He's making $10.1 million.
You're right. Yeah, that would be very difficult.
What about Buffalo?
And you got the 5'5" Juice Vaughn backing up Tony Pollard.
Who's going to be the greatest thing ever.
Those teams all make a ton of sense. I think a team that would invest in it because they haven't in a while.
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens.
I don't hate that either. And I was looking at that and I was just thinking, gosh, I watched like 5 dudes last night, right? And they've got a bunch of running backs. But they just, to your point, they just paid their quarterback now. I mean, they paid their quarterback at a crazy.
OBJ is not a $150 million wide receiver.
It's like a 6.
They got first round rookie contract, Zay Flowers. Who knows how much Mark Andrews is getting paid at this point in time, but feels like that contract is fine for wherever they're at on the offense. And I've also heard a lot of people talking about this situation for Indianapolis. It's also they're using this as we'll show you that you think your value is higher than this, but it's not.
It might be that
teams
way.
are not going to give up first round pick for you, and that's what you're worth, but that's not what we're going to get.
It very well may be that way. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Melvin Gordon. I mean, they're 4 deep with 4 good. I mean, Dobbins, if he says
that's your by committee. We don't need one guy. We got 4.
And that's kind of Harbaugh's way, right? Do you see him with? I don't know. I don't know that I love it there. Lamar does so much. I mean, he's going to add wherever he goes. I don't dislike him anywhere, right? There's not a place where I say no. I mean, why would you want him? What about your team, the Denver Broncos? Would Denver invest in that? You get $250 million in your quarterback.
They have definitely brought up the idea of bringing in another running back. I just don't see them paying a big number for it, though.
What about the Rams?
The answer to this question is yes. Every team would love Jonathan Taylor. But they're not giving up what it would take to acquire Jonathan
The Rams
Taylor.
have always given up. Who needs draft picks? Now, I don't think he makes a difference for them. I don't think it's worth it to them. By the way, I was listening to Andrew Whitworth. He is a commentator on NFL Network, former Rams offensive lineman, who's, I think, pretty good. Now, a little bit of a homer, okay? I'll give you that. He loves him some Stafford. He says Stafford looks different, that he was at camp. It made me feel good. He said Matthew Stafford looks at camp younger, sprier, energy, and you know the name of the receiver that he loves watching a Ram camp?
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah, I heard that interview too. He went on about Stafford.
Didn't he?
He did. You could tell that's his boy.
That's his guy, and that's why I took it with a grain of salt, right?
But I mean, he is there. He's around the team. He sees what he sees. He has some valuable insight. When I heard that, I had some excitement for the Rams as well.
Yes, because I think the Rams are the after that. Like if you say, give me a team that nobody's the NFC is somewhat open, right? There's the Eagles. And then I think people love the Niners. But then everybody else has, all right, who's the next best team? Is it the Cowboys? Is it Seattle? Is it going to be New Orleans? Is it going to be somebody out of the North? Who is it? And you look at the Rams and you say, well, I mean, they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They still have Aaron Donald. They still have a pretty good defense. If Matthew Stafford is healthy, now they start off Seahawks-Niners. Seahawks-Niners-Bengals. Dude, they could be 0-3.
They could?
Seahawks-Niners-Bengals. Holy snokes. That's brutal. Then they get the Colts and they get the Eagles.
That's a tough opening stretch, but Jeff was football.
Football.
And they're going to get one of those games.
Yeah. You think they're going to get one? I think so too.
I look at this depth chart, and if the Rams added Taylor, the conversation's very different.
It is, right? Because I don't know whether anybody believes in Cam Akers.
No, that'd be a huge ad.
People are, this is Cam Akers' year. Really? How long has it been Cam Akers' year?
Same amount of time it's been Dante Foreman's year.
This is Dante Foreman's year. I don't know that I love the rest of the receiving core. I believe Puka Nacua is gonna rise and become their number 2 or 3. And if they can keep Cooper Kupp healthy. But the Rams are, I don't know. I'm trying to talk myself into it. I really am having problems talking myself into it. When we come back, do you believe Jerry Jones is the owner of the Cowboys? Talking Super Bowl and why you should believe. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
You may know.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With your coverage from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
That we will win. I believe that we will win. Is this the year? Does it have to be the year? For Dallas Cowboy fan, here you are in year whatever with Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott and like this era. And you get to the playoffs. All right, you won a game last year. Good job. Good effort. Good job. Good effort. But do you believe? Jerry Jones with Peter King from Sports Illustrated, quote, "I know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. You shouldn't give up the ghost because you fall short in a highly competitive league. Just because we haven't won it in so long doesn't make what we've done meaningless. And I think this year we're in a better position to win it than we have been in years. We have the team and we have the quarterback." End quote. Every year you have the team. It's the same quote. Now, I agree with him that it's not meaningless if you don't win a Super Bowl. I don't think 31 teams have meaningless seasons. But I think it's been a long time, and the goal is the goal. And he's been working on this for a long time, and he hadn't gotten there. I know what's killing him. He was asked, how much do you believe in Dak? Quote, very much, very much. We're relying on him, and I feel very good about that. His preparation, his presence, how the team responds to him, I believe he will get us there. End quote. I know we say this every year, dude. Is this the biggest year in a long time for the Cowboys?
From their fan base, it's always going to be the biggest year. And this is a team that you are right to be frustrated. They won 24 games the last 2 years. That is not easy to do in the NFL. You're not just winning double-digit games by accident in this league. And this is a team that should have more playoff success. And if you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys, it's easy to say Super Bowl, but where I go first for all these teams is, can they play the game to get to the Super Bowl? That's what matters to me. Is this a team that is a conference champion caliber football team in the NFC? The Dallas Cowboys absolutely should be. When you are able to win double-digit games, you have a quarterback in Dak Prescott. He's a good quarterback. You have a wide receiver 1, better wide receiver 2, Brandon Cooks this year, a superstar on defense. Like, the pieces are absolutely there. And I wouldn't say it's make or break year necessarily for the Dallas Cowboys. I would turn my attention more towards Dak Prescott, is because he is 30 years old. He's got a contract that he can make a lot of money on the next few years. But if it's a one and done performance, and if you're looking at, again, a postseason where you're just scratching your head going, what's happened with this team? Then where are the two places you start to look? It's your head coach and quarterback.
I hate generalized questions like this, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because so much more nuance goes into how did we get to be 12-5 and lose in the second weekend of the playoffs, right? But if they go 12-5, finish second in their division to the Eagles, which is really possible, right? And get beat in the second round by the Niners or Seattle or the Eagles. Mike McCarthy still the coach next year? And I say that understanding that it's just way too blind of a question.
It's
right?
easy. The easy answer is no. If you're not having that success, if you're not playing for an NFC championship, you have to move on. But we know,
how did it happen?
All playoff losses are not created equal, because it's easy to start banging on someone and say, well, I'm off this guy. He hasn't done it. It's happened with Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
You think about that, the shootout he had with Patrick Mahomes.
Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes. He had 13 seconds left and went to the bench. He was ready to pop the cork, right? And then Patrick Mahomes drove down the field. And they win a coin flip, and he never got off the bench.
So you don't talk about how that game ended. You just look and go, well, they can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Oh, they lost at home to Joe Burrow. And so that's the one that should weigh on the Buffalo Bills more than that Kansas City game. So it's one where it's not crazy. It's the Cowboys. You know, the expectation, the hype, it is going to be over the top. If I'm looking at a team that they haven't lost anything, Dalton Schultz is gone. Okay, they need a tight end to step up. But if it's a double-digit team in the NFC, absolutely the expectations are you should be playing, like this team should be in the conference championship.
This is another fair question. I hate I'm not even going to go down there. I'm looking at what Dak is. And I look at the insane amount of pressure that's on him. He got paid. He's the quarterback of, I still believe, the highest profile team in the NFL, right? I mean, even though they're not the best team, is there a higher profile team in the NFL? If there is, I'm listening.
They have the highest valuation of any team.
Highest valuation, highest profile. They're on national TV more. Like, who else would you even consider? Steelers, Niners?
It's Cowboys.
It's them, right? He's the quarterback of the highest profile team in the NFL. He has been hurt. He has been marginal to good, right? Marginal to good.
That's fair. And yeah, and it's, you know, part of the conversation too is what Dallas did when Dak Prescott was not playing last year in the success of
Cooper Rush went 4-1. He was undefeated through his first four. He's like Father
that's
Time.
Also
I was calling him
reinforces-
Brother Time, by the way, DC.
Brother Time.
I was calling because the only person who's ever undefeated was Father Time. So I was calling Cooper Rush Brother Time until he lost. Because, well, he'd never lost. Never lost.
And Cooper Rush played well, but that reinforces that that's a pretty good roster.
Mm-hmm.
That he had that success when Cooper Rush was at quarterback.
What's the one position they can't afford to get injured at? Is it quarterback? Is it running back? Is it right defensive end, Micah Parsons? What's the one position they can't afford to lose?
For every team, it's an offensive lineman. Feels like right now.
Yeah, but they all lose
I know.
offensive linemen. So I mean, I hate
So
to say
everyone's
that,
going to be
but-
like patchwork lines at some point in time.
Yeah.
I think Micah Parsons, because that defense is built on turnovers.
Are they good enough in the secondary to win in that division? Well, why, Jeff? Daniel Jones isn't ripping anybody apart. Sam Howell, I mean, what? How good are they? I mean, I don't know. Jalen Hurts, great passer. Is their secondary good enough to win?
Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Those are the two corners. Yeah. All right. This is big. Cowboy fan, I know you're there. And I know this is a big year, but I know every year is a big year. Like Omar, I know every year this is a big year. And I know you believe every year this is it. 505-246-0610, how to get a hold of us here at The Sports Animal. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I know every year's a big year. This one feels like are we running out of time? How long do they have before they reset? And reset means, I think reset for almost every franchise means quarterback, right? How long before they reset?
That's an interesting question.
It really is.
Right? When you look at that roster
of Dak Prescott, the way his contract is constructed right now.
Yes.
It's got a couple void years down the end, but he's not a unrestricted free agent until after the 2026 season.
When can they get out of it?
So if he's you're still getting the same Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Can they get out after this year?
Yeah, they have a potential out.
See?
In 2024.
That's what
So
I
it'd be just a 3-year, $126 million deal, which would he have gotten with a $61 million dead cap hit.
That's a big number. Gosh, that's a big number. Cowboy fan looking for you at 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Your emails are coming in again. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Coming up next, we're talking quarterbacks. Do they really know? Are they just not telling you who the quarterback is down where Tom Brady used to live? Do they know and they're just not telling you? Or do they just flat out not know a week and a half before the season starts? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls.
91. It's almost 3 decades, right?
They haven't even been to an NFC Championship game
In this century.
since that
Yeah.
time.
So when is reset time, and is it coming? I mean, is that something that is realistic to start thinking about? If it doesn't happen this year, when? I don't know. They got a good roster.
Can't say Super Bowl appearance without an NFC Championship game appearance.
No, you can't. You can't. So what's holding them back? Tony, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Tony.
Good morning, gentlemen. I hate to do this to you there, Jeff, but Father Time is not the only one that's undefeated.
Who else?
LeVar Ball, one-on-one.
Undefeated. Never lost. LeVar Ball.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
But, Dallas is Dallas. Should they blow it up? Nope. They should keep on doing exactly what they're doing.
Because it's fun.
They shouldn't change a thing.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, it's very, very fun. Oh yeah, there's just something about Dallas Cowboy fan tears that just makes us haters just smile. So no, Dallas, you keep doing what you're doing, Dallas. Don't change a thing.
Keep running Dak out there. All right, Tony. Appreciate you.
You guys have a good day.
LeVar Ball. Need to beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. Because he's undefeated. Never lost. 1996, by the way. Cowboys beat the Steelers 27-17. In Super Bowl 30, we'll have Super Bowl 38 this year, so that'll be 28 Super Bowls ago. I mean, that's almost 3 decades, right? That's not this century, right? That's more than a quarter century ago, right? Just making sure I got all my numerology right. All right. It's a long time. And Tony's point's right. Cowboy haters
Keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you get the same results.
You're right there. People keep doing it, Jerry. Keep doing it the same way because it's fun. That's right. Do they really not know? So the NFL season is not this weekend, not next week. What, 2 weeks away? Actually, 2 weeks from Thursday we have games. We get the first one. So do they really not know? Buccaneers coach Todd Bowles was asked by reporters yesterday when he will announce his starting quarterback. They play Minnesota on the road, week 1. Game happens to be 3 weeks from the day they asked him that. We don't have a timetable on it. We'll name it when we name it. And, we feel comfortable with where we're at. So we'll go on from there, which is the biggest no answer. Was it Baker Mayfield going into last weekend and then Kyle Trask actually had a game and made him think? Do you think that's what happened? Or they've got to know it's Baker Mayfield, right?
You have to know your starting quarterback at this point in time. If you want to have a backup quarterback battle, okay, that is fine for the preseason. If you're sitting here and you're the head coach, your offensive staff is in a meeting room with you, and they're like, well, we don't know who to start, you are in trouble. You should know your starting quarterback by now.
So the way it shook out is Trask started, then he left field, and he came back on because of an injury. So during the game, they're kind of talking about that's actually an indicator that it's probably Mayfield.
So let's say it. Right?
This is some weird college coach game. And they're like, we'll find out our starter and kickoff.
Yeah.
Tune in 2:30.
We get to Tuscaloosa against Alabama. What? Kyle Trask was 20 of 28 for 218 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty good.
And because Mike Evans was talking about this last week.
Yes.
And he's saying we'd like to know. So they haven't told the team, and they're just playing this like, oh, we don't know. We're going to surprise you in week 1.
And it's to your point, it's not just he's not telling the media. He evidently, at least as of late last week, hadn't told his players. You've got your best receiver. And look, this is how things blow up. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. And you've seen it before. But when you've got veterans who have won, and they watch this, right? Mike Evans was there. They won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady and Bruce Arians as head coach. Tom's gone. Bruce Arians is gone. Todd Bowles is in. Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield are in. And he's just going, what am I doing, dude? I watched how it was done. I watched how it was done the right way. And now we're 3 weeks away from game day, and I don't know who the hell's throwing the ball. How do we not know? Like that's how guys say, get me out of here. I'm done. I won at an elite level. I'm really good. I got a few years being really good left. Get me out of here. That's how things blow up. How do you not know who your best quarterback is? At 9 o'clock, we're going to talk to Tony Plagman from Guardian Caps. Guardian Caps are those kind of airbags on the helmets the players wear. I want to learn more about that. I know you do too. The technology behind it, the stats about, what kind of added protection, and is that something that's close to maybe seeing in competition, not just in practice? But when you think about it, they practice 5 times and play once, so at least they're 5 out of 6 times. They're getting some protection, which I think is really good. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. 888-922-0610. This could be just in the nick of time. Nick Bosa's holding out. He's the 49ers' best defensive player. Is he going to be back in camp and ready to go by the time they start the season? Because that's a big piece of a big puzzle. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts The Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. Upstairs goes the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one hit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
So that was a football game last night, boys and girls. Like, that was a football game that had emotion, that looked like two teams that gave a damn about the outcome, even though, I mean, in reality, the outcome didn't really matter. But one team celebrating like they won something that mattered. 29-28, the Washington Commandos beat the Baltimore Ravens in preseason Monday Night Football. Joey Sly hit a 49-yard field goal with 9 seconds left on the clock. And it snapped the win streak of the Ravens that was 24 games. When was the last time there was a 24-game win streak in the NFL? This is preseason. It dates back to 2015, 3 years before the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson.
Has there ever been a 24-game win streak in the NFL?
DC, what's the longest win streak ever in the NFL?
You'd have to. Would it be?
Well, it would have to encompass
Dolphins?
multiples. It would have to be the Dolphins. They'd have to have the longest because they won. Well, they won 14 regular season games and then they won the playoffs. But what's the longest regular season win streak in the history of the NFL?
21 games.
Who is it?
Patriots.
Patriots. So back in the year that they lost the Super Bowl, so it carried over from the year prior, all the way through because they well, I guess.
Or was that did they win the Super Bowl year before, then go undefeated?
Well, they won 16 in a row. So if they won either they won the last 5 the year before, the first 5 the next year, or I guess they could have won 2 on one side and 3 on the next side.
This was 2003 and 2004.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and that includes playoff games as well.
Oh, it does include playoff games.
It does.
Okay. 24-game preseason win streak. And what does it matter? Well, it means nothing. You know what it means? It means John Harbaugh gets the attention of his guys in camp, and they go to work for him in camp, and it matters. And they get a lot of breaks, and they won some stupid, crazy games along the way.
Yeah, and but it's also something. It just shows you where everyone's competitive, regardless of the situation. We are all competitive, whether you're tossing your papers into the trash can, whether you're doing something at the gym,
air
let
hockey
alone
game,
being on an NFL football field, even in preseason football. It catches your attention because I know I wanted to watch the end of that game. I made it a point to go back after bedtime and getting the kid ready to go down and watch the final minutes of the fourth quarter because it seems so ridiculous. But when you have players like Commanders guard Sam Cosmi saying, who gives a bleep about this record? Well, you all did at the end of that game because you were talking about it before the game. The Ravens knew it was on the line. They were invested. They were interested. And what are we here for? We're here for competition, and we got that.
It was good, man. Dudes compete. You're right. If I throw my paper left-handed into that trash can, you got to throw yours left-handed into the trash. Oh, gotcha.
You missed, and then I'm like,
Kobe.
Westbrook.
Yeah, that's right. Kobe. Yeah.
Make it. It's the cream.
Find an air
Kobe.
hockey table. I've been on an air hockey table forever. You and I go back and forth. I win the first one. You win the second one. We're battling for the third. Pop a shot.
2 out of 3. No, best 2 out of 5.
That's right.
3 out of 5.
That's how dudes are.
4 out of 7.
They keep score, then I want to win. And that's what I got to watch. It was awesome. All I know is that was the first time this season I felt like I was really watching a football game. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of them this weekend in college football, and I'm stoked. And I know you are too. But last night was cool, man. And we got a little Sam Howell. What do you think of Sam Howell? He is the quarterback of the Washington Commandos. Looked good. Now, he looked good against a second-string defense. Both of you guys really liked him. I lean towards really liked him. I'm going to just hold out a touch because I want to see him play against a first-string defense. But he looked confident, looked like an NFL quarterback.
I don't think that Sam Howell is going to end up changing the game, but it's the statement you just said. Looked like an NFL quarterback. Yeah. Doesn't look over his skis. Doesn't look like things are too fast. Like there's a confidence in there. I have the same feel kind of with Jordan Love. Like, all right, I think that there can be some success right away. Experience. It's just a year. Sam Howell did play a little bit at the end of last season. And getting that experience in there, knowing you're going into the offseason, being the guy for the most part, even though Ron Rivera didn't announce it until last week, that if you're doing the things you need to do, they're going to give you that opportunity over Jacoby Brissett. And he just looked like a guy that was just confident in himself.
Who will be better, Jordan Love or Sam Howell this year?
Ooh.
Not sure I know the answer. I'm going to lean Jordan Love, but I do that with no confidence. Like, no confidence.
I go with Love because
he's a third-year guy. He's got weapons. He's been in the system.
Former first-round pick.
Yeah, first-round pick.
But Sam Howell, by every account, would have been a first-round pick if he came out the year prior. He fell in his senior year. I mean, you can see there's a swagger to him now, too. And he's got 3 good receivers, Dotson, McLaurin, and was it Brown, the rookie?
Yeah, and that also shows you why was he a first-round pick 1 year, not a second year, but now you're hyping him up as, well, remember,
because I'm watching him play now. I never really watched him play.
No, but I mean, I'm like in the draft world.
Did he get hurt? I don't know. When it was his senior year at North Carolina, I don't know why he fell. I'm not going to pretend I know.
And this is another fantastic question. Because a lot of people are saying that, like, oh, if he would have came out, he would have been a first-round pick. Well, then why wasn't he the following year? He's still the same football player.
I know.
It's the same guy with an extra year of experience.
Tua was the same way, but he got hurt, right? Tua was the no-brainer pick if he came out.
And so what would make me question that a little bit is so that I think the junior season they're talking about North Carolina. That was an offense that had, like, Javonte Williams, a couple other NFL wide receivers on it.
Yep.
And Sam Howell looks like a first-round pick. And then so those guys go to the NFL. And then all of a sudden the dude falls to the 5th round. So is he really that good, or was it just he was on a
there's your answer.
Team?
He's going to have good receivers at this level. Now, I always wonder, he's not throwing against Duke's secondary. He's not playing Wake Forest next week.
How's Duke feel about Stanford?
Right, Syracuse isn't coming in this week. So it's a little bit different, right?
I think I would take. You're talking me into Jordan Love.
Okay, I'm
this
on Jordan
season
Love
over
too.
Sam Howell.
Yeah. But I think Sam Howell can be really nice. Text line says Tony. Tony just called. He said Tony is right on his assessment of the Cowboys. It's fun. Keep doing it. And the reason they win 12 games is they're world beaters against teams with losing records. We had a conversation on the Cowboys, if you weren't with us in the last hour, about How long can they keep doing this? It's going to be 28 years since they won the Super Bowl, since they've been to an NFC Championship game. How long can they keep doing what they're doing? When is reset time? Tony said, keep doing what you're doing. It's fun. We love watching it. Keep doing what you're doing.
But that's also one of those conversations where if you're doing what you should be doing, then you are on the verge of being able to take a next step. And that is one where, yes, the Dak Prescott's record against winning teams is something you have to talk about. But they're doing something other teams aren't, which is beating all those bad teams and winning 12 NFL games.
Yeah, well, look, there's some teams with winning records, some teams with losing records, and you got to beat who's in front of you. I'm not. How do they look? But yeah, at some point you got to beat the teams that theoretically you're not supposed to beat. At some point you got to do that. All right, is it going to be in the nick of time? Talked about this going into the break. Nick Bosa, do we agree? Best defensive player on the 49ers and really good defensive players on the 49ers?
I think Nick Bosa is the best defensive player on the 49ers.
He's holding out. This is their defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks. Quote, I think you guys have been around here longer than I have, and I've seen it from afar. I think he'll be fine when he gets here. End quote. Talking about Nick Bosa. Niners think that they're going to get a deal completed with him. We're watching guys come into camp now, right? Josh Jacobs just did it the other day. I've made my point. I'm sitting out, but the season's now 2 weeks away. A, will he play? And B, will he be ready for opening day?
Yes.
At what point does he have to get in then to be ready for opening day?
I think with someone like Nick Bosa, his snap count
Friday before the game?
Yeah, his snap count might not be that 35, 40 that you're expecting, but he's on the field 15, 20 snaps week one, making an impact.
Okay. All right, 505-246-0610. Tell me when to do Red Zone. We got a guest at 9. What time you want to do? 8:30 or 9:30?
Let's do 9:30.
All right, we'll do Red Zone at 9:30. That's where DC is going to fire a bunch of big NFL topics at me and JJ. We'll give you our opinions. We'll do that at 9:30. When we come back, respect their offense. You may not love their quarterback. You may not love what they do, but you better, because the offensive coordinator of this longtime power says, yep, the big dude's not here anymore, but you better respect this offense. Are the Steelers legit on offense? It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I think Coach Jones has prepared Dallas Cowboys to have an outstanding season. And I will never settle for anything less than a championship belt. But, Omar, you've been settling for the last 27, now 28 years. You have been settling because you've had no choice. Omar sent that to Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. That's how you can get in. I've been asking the question this morning on the Cowboys. Biggest season? But is it always the biggest season? Is it always their biggest year ever?
There is something to that, which when you have the hype, the aura that surrounds you, the size of your fan base, there are always going to be, at times, even unrealistic expectations.
Well, but I think also there's been so many times where we've just over-evaluated that roster. Now, I don't know that we are now, but when was the last time we did not say, they've got so much talent on that roster? They've got as much talent as anybody on that roster. Every year you say, well, look at all the talent. Every single year, Jerry spends money. He gets high-profile dudes. They get a key injury. Leighton Vander Esch gets hurt, like he always does. Key lineman, key DB gets hurt. But when was the last time you said, you did not say, oh, the Cowboys have so much talent?
They've done a good job with their roster. They usually have some pretty good pieces, and they haven't been as consistent as some other franchises if you look at the last 20 years in terms of double-digit win seasons, but it's been the misses. Like you're 13-3, you lose in a division round in 2007.
Is this horrible?
You have the Tony Romo drop snap.
I think Jerry's tried as hard as any owner in the league ever to win a Super Bowl. I do. I think he's spent money. He's tried everything he knows how to do. Fired coaches, kept coaches, right? He's done everything. It's going to be a really sick joke if they win the year after he passes away. Don't you think? I mean, he wants that more than anything, just to experience that.
How do you feel about Jerry Jones? I think at times he's been over his skis, and we've talked a lot about how.
I'll tell you.
How can an owner be having a press conference? Why is the owner doing all this talking? But I feel like, just in terms of roster construction, that team from a football management standpoint, it's not as bad as it's been in the past with Jerry Jones.
So I feel that Jerry Jones wants it more than any owner in the NFL, and that's saying something because I think they all do. Every one of these guys is an alpha male, is ultra competitive, is ultra successful. Like every one of them wants it, right? And I think that he has poured his being into this, where he didn't make his money on this. He made a lot of money on this, but that's not where he made his initial fortune. And so I respect Jerry as an owner who is willing to go out and spend and get the pieces and build a stadium and build a roster and like take care of the players. I respect him immensely in regards to that. Over the years, I think the issue is I felt like Jerry should find football people to do football jobs. When you look at people, and yeah, he played football at Arkansas, but when you go through business, how did Jerry make his money in energy, right, or in steel, or in construction, or something? Like he knows that business, but does he know football? Now, by now, he probably knows football pretty well. But I always thought he should have hired a football general manager to come in and make decisions. But I respect the hell out of him for what he's tried to do. He has not been successful at that ultimate level, but on every other level, he's been successful. The franchise is worth more than any franchise in American sports, right? The fan base is insane. They sell out. They've got one of the most beautiful stadiums, period. But that's how I feel about it. And the other piece is, I'm not big. I don't think ever the owner should be the face of the franchise. I can think of 3 instances where the owner has been the face of the franchise. I think of George Steinbrenner with the Yankees back in like the 70s, and they won. I think of Jerry Jones, and I think of your boy Peter Trevisani with United. No, honestly, I mean, can you give me where else is the owner the face of the franchise? You got another one for me? Well, you may know who the owner is.
Yeah, I think there was a moment there. Mark Cuban was, and then they found Luka Doncic.
Okay,
'cause Dirk had NBA final, but he wasn't necessarily that personality. I think maybe Luka is.
Yeah, but I think Cuban almost was more known for being on Shark Tank than being
the owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. I'm listening. Give me another one where the owner has been the face of the franchise, because Jerry has been, right, for almost 3 decades. George Steinbrenner was. Peter Trevisani has decided he is. But where else has the owner been the face of a franchise?
I think Robert Kraft is close.
No. Belichick and Brady have been the face of that franchise. Kraft is, again, you may know who they are, and they may be out there, but not nearly as prevalent, not all the time. Does he have his own radio show? Does he have his own press conference after every game? Kraft
Negative.
No, he's a high profile owner. I think there's a difference. You think I'm wrong?
You are right. I guess I'm thinking like post Brady. It's kind of turned more towards Kraft, but you're right with Belichick there. It's him first.
Yeah. There's not many, right?
No, there's not.
There's not many. And so what do I think of him? I got mad respect. Mad respect. All right, do you have mad respect for the Steelers offense? Their coordinator, Matt Canada, says that, quote, they're pleased with a very small sample size. Their wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, who people expect to blow up this year. Everybody, including JJ, is on Deontay Johnson. We're not really worried about that. When the time comes, first game or whatever, or even this game coming up, we're going to show what we've been working on this whole training camp. We've shown a little glimpse of the first 2 games. Come the first game, we're going to put on a display for sure. Do you believe in the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yes. I think Kenny Pickett is in for a very good season. I envision Kenny Pickett being the next Kirk Cousins. like a guy that he's going to win you games, but you're never going to feel like he's elite. So you might have an anti-franchise. Like, oh, is this guy going to be good enough? That's a question you're going to be asking with Kenny Pickett. But the throws he's made in the preseason, like that touchdown throw to Pat Freiermuth, their tight end, in double coverage away from the linebacker, was an absolute dart. So he's got the tight end covered. He's got DeAndre Johnson, George Pickens on the outside. Jalen Warren is going to have a bigger role in this offense behind Najee Harris.
Got a running game. Yep. I agree with you.
I'm falling in love with the Steelers this season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they're going to be a lot better than people think as well. All right, here's what, everybody knows how good Tomasitas is. I mean, it's not like they're going to be a lot better than you think because everybody knows how good Tomasitas is. We have a sweet deal for you today, and if you go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com, click on the sweet deal icon. Do this at 9 o'clock because if you go at 9:05, the odds are they will be gone. For $25, you get $50 at Tomasitas, delicious New Mexico cuisine. They don't mess with the chili. They have happy hours in the bar Monday through Thursday, 11 in the morning, if you want to get it going, till 6 p.m. Quick, convenient weekday lunches. Dee is here to talk about that. Good morning, Dee. How you living?
Good morning. Living right.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, because you do it right over at Tomasitas. What's going on over there? Tell people why Tomasitas is so wonderful and how you've never messed with Grandma's recipes, have you, over there? It's the chili. You don't play with it. It's just real good, yummy.
No, very simple. No shishi spices. We keep it authentic. Hot, ready to go.
You've got happy hours and lunch specials. Been doing this since 1974. And do you have a favorite, Dee? What's like if you were going to lunch today, what are you ordering off of that menu, Dee?
Absolutely, the blue corn chicken enchiladas. It's called our Wednesday special, but you can get it every day of the week.
Well, red or green? Which way are you going on the?
For me, it's red.
Yeah. All
red.
Right. I like the red on the chicken enchiladas as well. Frozen swirl margaritas, cold beers, whatever you want. Get over and see them right there on I-25 and right near Jefferson. It's our sweet deal. If you go to sportsanimalabq.com at 9 o'clock, click on our sweet deal icon. $25 gets you $50 to spend at Tomasitas. Dee, it's great to hear from you. Enjoy that enchilada for lunch today. The Wednesday special on Tuesday sounds perfect to me as well. I may come by and see you. Have a great day, Dee.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
you. How good does that sound, by the way? I mean, I'll eat Wednesday. I'll gladly pay you Saturday for a hamburger today. Isn't that Wimpy from Popeye? Right? I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Yeah, he's all about it. All right, when we come back, Global Basketball just brought home a star. He was a terrific high school basketball player here in the metro area, and he just transferred back to UNM. This is a walk-on, JJ, that actually may make a difference at times. Who is he and why did he come home? Looking forward to this. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Clark's Pet Emporium reminds you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers, they maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
University of Massachusetts. He's going into his second season down in Cruces as the head football coach of the Aggies. Jerry Kill joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Hello, Jerry. Happy game week. How you living? Let me do that again. Will you put that on the air, please? Because my buttons don't work. Hello, Jerry. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
If I could figure out how to push a button, I think I'd be good. Hey, you feel a difference down there? Is the town buzzing a little bit? I know having ESPN down there, opening up, coming off a bowl victory, I got to believe that town's buzzing a little bit.
Well, I haven't been out in it much right now because of game week, but, I think people are excited.
Jerry, why are you going to be better this year? You had 7 wins last year. You win a bowl game, all the excitement, second bowl victory since 1960 for that university. And I know you think you're going to be better this year. Why are you better this year?
Well, I think, it all starts up, with your quarterback, and Diego is taken from where he was at in the bowl game and taking it that much farther. And, if you're going to be good, you got to have a great quarterback. And, he's had a great camp. I think we've improved at wide receiver, improved at tight end with adding Ron Tavesio, who's 6'3", 275, who's played really well for us. And then we're a little, we're bigger and stronger up front than we were a year ago. And that's where it all counts. I think we'll be better offensively. You got to prove it on game day. But we are athletic, and can run. On defense, with, you got some kids like Gabe Peterson and Buda Polite, who's playing at a high level right now for us, that played some last year. And then at defensive tackle, bringing Deion Wilson from Arizona at 6'5", 300. Isaiah Ray, 6'1", 310. We didn't have that.
No, you got size. You got different size and athleticism.
Yeah, different size. And then our defensive end, 6'6", 270. We didn't have that a year ago. Linebacker-wise, Keyshawn Elliott, who started towards the end of the year, has done well. We picked up a kid named Tyler Martinez from actually Albuquerque, and picked him up late from NIMI, and he's really had an outstanding camp. And then Sony Apua is a redshirt freshman that's really showed up well and done some good things at linebacker also.
Hey, Jerry, I want to ask you, Diego was on with us on Friday, and there's a confidence to him. And if we go back 365 days, I remember you saying, I don't know what we've got. I remember standing with you on the sidelines during one of those first 3-4 games, and you said, we just got to upgrade everywhere. Can you talk a little bit about the progress in what Diego has become? Diego Pavia was from Volcano Vista High School, unrecruited, went and won a national championship in JUCO at New Mexico Military Institute. Now he's MVP, got of a bowl game, got a Heisman vote. The progress that he has made in 365 days to become your leader.
Well, he just, like I said, he's put in the work ethic. He's a tremendous competitor. He's in here in our offices all the time watching video, and, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to be the best, and, he's really improved throwing the football. That's the main thing. I mean, he is, I think in practice yesterday, we threw it with him 21 times. I think he had three incompletions, and so he's been he's been sharp, and we got depth at that position, with recruiting Eli. And he's a 6'4", 225 kid, and he's, had a 44-inch vertical jump. So, he's a kid that can do a lot of things. We just added more depth to our football team, but the only thing that scares me about this team is we only have 7 seniors. And so that's a scary thing. When, you get game on the line, you don't have, we had 20 some odd last year. And when you only have 7 seniors, that's my biggest concern right now is that, when things go bad, are we going to be able to handle
Who's
it?
going to lead? Yeah, Jerry Kills, New Mexico State's football coach, with us on the Sports Animal.
Now, Jerry, that's a thing that can scare you as a coach, but then it also means an opportunity. And are you seeing some guys that are willing, ready, able to step up, or is that also one of the things that, hey, you just have to see it when the lights are bright and it's game time?
I think you got to wait until it's game time, but I think that I'm cautiously optimistic that it'll just like both teams will be a little keyed up and nervous, and but I think once you kick the ball off, and I'm anxious to see what we have, to be honest with you, and we'll know after this game, but and I think they've got a great defense. They were 9th in the country last year, and so they got a great defense offensively. They went out and got a quarterback, and they're better too. So it should be a great first game, and I think it'll come down, to be honest with you, is field position, kicking game, and turnovers, and dumb penalties. And our punter we picked up, Zach Haynes from Southeast Missouri, is definitely a difference maker. We picked up a deep snapper, Charlie Eberle, who's a big upgrade, and then our kicker, we got Ethan, who kicked last year, who was not healthy, is back to being healthy, and plus we got a kid named Freddie Joya he's a true freshman that's kicked the heck out of the ball. So the biggest place we've improved, if I said anything, I just hope they show it in game time, and game time pressure is, our kicking game, and then our special team guys are dynamic, and we didn't have that last year.
Yeah, it sounds like athletes. It sounds like you just upgraded athletes. Jerry Kills with us for a few more minutes here on the Sports Animal.
Now, Jerry, last year, what you guys did at the end of the season with that bowl appearance at Victory, it was so special. But now you also have a different goal, and being in Conference USA, there's a conference championship that you guys can now also try to focus on. How is it having that stability moving forward as a member of a conference?
Well, I think it's a big deal for us, and you're playing for something. You're playing for conference championship. Your players got a chance to be an all-conference player, and you're one of the few conferences that can go to the playoffs. So it's six actually bowl benefits to get in the bowl game. So I think it does a lot for us. It helps us in recruiting, and it's hard to get in a bowl game when you're independent.
Hey, Jerry, lastly, the exposure on ESPN, it's been 17 years since ESPN was at Aggie Memorial Stadium for an ESPN 1 game. And you're going to be prime time on the very first football weekend of the year. What does that mean for this program and the exposure? And I got to believe there's a little bounce in the kids for that, too.
Oh, there's no question there's bounce for the kids. And, we've been practicing for a long time, so I think they're looking forward to a game. And, but, it's great for the school. It's great for the community. It's really great for New Mexico. And, like I said, actually it's back-to-back ESPN games, which I don't know when the last time that happened. And because we were on ESPN, for the bowl game. So, it's great exposure. It hasn't happened. People get to know about New Mexico State, Las Cruces, etc. And, everybody can capitalize on it. It's not the football program, but, what we have to offer helps in recruiting students. Anytime you start winning, it helps businesses. People want to come to the game, all that stuff.
Yeah, winning is fun.
Is good.
Appreciate the time. Go to work. We'll catch up with you next week. Good luck against UMass this week, and always appreciate your time, Jerry. Thanks.
You guys are the best.
Be well. Jerry Kill, New Mexico State's football coach. I literally cannot. The buttons aren't working here. Can you get that, please? Thank you. Why they could be better? You know what it sounds like to me? Way better athletes. Now, I know everybody feels that way this time of year, but I mean, just the measurables look that way. Everybody who's been down at their camp says the eye test tells them that too. It's kind of like New Mexico, right?
And also, you're able to have an entire year of recruiting, use your connections, hit the transfer portal.
Oh, by the way, I won a bowl game, and that helps too.
Winning a bowl game.
That helps as well. 505-246-0610. All right, when we come back, I will tell you about, I know I just told you about it before, one of the best high school basketball players that we've seen around here in a long time is coming home to play for the Lobos. I think it's a big deal, and I'll tell you why next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good basketball players in high school around here in the last bunch of seasons. But this young man was kind of a highlight film. Do you remember Daraje Agbaoji at El Dorado?
Yes, I do.
Daraje, 6'7", 215 now. As a senior at El Dorado, he averaged 16.5 points, 10 rebounds a game. He was terrific. He went, most recently was playing at North Alabama. Daraje was athletic. I was wondering at the time why he wasn't being recruited harder at UNM. He's had some opportunities. He's originally from New Jersey. Lobos announced yesterday that he's transferring. He's going to be a walk-on at UNM. Now, normally a walk-on, even a local walk-on, you go, all right, whatever. They've got Shane Dumas-Sanchez. Last year they had Mac Manzanares. And you're figuring, whatever, in some respects, our guy's going to contribute. JJ, I'm going to tell you, and don't think, I'm not going over the edge here. I'm not telling you he's going to compete for a starting position. I'm not telling you he's going to be all conference. But I'm going to tell you, this is another body that comes off the bench that can defend, that can score, that is athletic, that if you need another, in practice, you've got another really athletic player, and a local kid coming home to play, that there's going to be some excitement around.
Well, he was a scholarship player, wasn't he?
At North Alabama.
Yeah. So
it's
not just a dude with no experience. Oh, it's a local kid. He can kind of hoop. Let's get him on. Like, this is the big body in terms of walk-ons.
Mm-hmm.
Catches your attention.
Daraje was a spectacular highlight film at El Dorado. When he was playing for Roy Sanchez over there, and he was terrific. He's as good of a player as we've seen around here in the last 10 years. He was really, wouldn't you say? I mean, I don't know that I've got many better.
He was a very good high school player.
So this is kind of a big deal. Good for Richard Pitino to bring him home. And I think this is kind of a cool thing for them. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. And for whatever reason you are still paying a toll, then we'll take care of that. Hey, Joe Mixon was back at practice for the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday. It's his first news conference since the end of last season. He talked to the media. That was when a judge ruled Mixon was not guilty of aggravated menacing. And he said it was a great thing to have his contract situation, a criminal case behind him. So he signed a new contract, was absolved of any criminal wrongdoing. And he was asked Joe Mixon was, if he had any regrets about making headlines off the field for what happened over the offseason. He said it was a blessing to be back for another season. Quote, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it to football questions, but it's a great thing for everything to be pretty much over with and be able to be to be able to hone in on being the best teammate I could possibly be, being the leader and the captain that I am around our team, end quote. And I know he's cut off some media outlets, Joe Mixon has. He's been really unhappy with the way some outlets have handled it. Where are you with the way Mixon has handled all of this? Because this is a guy that in college, remember, right, did he punch a 17-year-old woman at a fast food restaurant back in the day? Kind of got through all that. Every time there's an accusation, media jumps it, right? Every time there's an accusation, the media jumps on these things. Are you okay with him just saying, I just want to talk about football?
Yes.
Criminal case was dismissed.
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah, I am. And I understand what he's saying too when he says they're being disrespectful, bringing it up and wanting to talk about it after it's over. So I'm okay with it.
I got nothing to say. I mean, why am I going to try?
Well, then just say that. Just say it was handled. I have no further comment on this matter.
Yeah, that's kind of what he's saying. He said I'm answering football questions only.
But then he comes out and he's specifically saying, I'm not talking to these four people.
Yeah, no, he did say that, 100%. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Guardian caps. Those are those big airbags on helmets kind of a thing that you see football players wearing in practice. We're going to get into the technology of them with Tony Plagman from Guardian Caps. What is the technology? How are they helping athletes? And is this something that we may see in real competition? And should we? Really, really, really excited about talking to Tony Plagman from Guardian Caps about something that may make football safer. It's the opening drive, and that's next on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Swit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, maybe they look a little different to you, and they do, but if they help protect from head injuries, I would think we all agree they're well worth it. It's Guardian caps. So you've maybe seen in practice video or been out to football practice, football players wearing what looks like bubble wrap on their helmets. It's like airbags on their helmet. It's that soft shell helmet cover. It's engineered for impact reduction. So it brings a padded soft shell layer to that outside old hard shell football helmet. And Guardian Caps claims that it reduces the impact up to 33%. I would say that's significant. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. So what is the science behind it? What is the future? And are we ever going to see these in games? And DC said, you know what, let's reach out to Guardian Caps and see what we can learn. And so Tony Plagman is with us. He is their sales manager and their head of media relations. And I'm going to ask you to hit the button back there again for Guardian Caps. And he joins us this morning on The Sports Animal. Tony, good morning. You're on with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you living today?
Good morning, guys. Doing great. How about yourself?
We're really good. Appreciate you spending some time with us. You know, I think we're all fascinated by this. And could you just brief background science on why this piece of equipment has been so beneficial and is now almost universally used in the NFL and college football?
Absolutely, yeah. So, appreciate the time, and obviously it's different, and so it takes a minute to kind of understand it. But it's a soft shell helmet cover. It's about 7 ounces. NFL's is a hair heavier, about 4 or 5 ounces heavier for the bigger, faster, stronger guys. So our standard version is 7 ounces. NFL is about 11. But lightweight and just trying to absorb some of the impact at the point of contact, right? That hard shell, is great at preventing skull fractures. That's what it was designed for. But there's just, a better way of reducing some of that blow, especially during practice when the majority of impacts are happening. they're going through drills and a lot more contact versus game days.
Yeah, I think it's great that, if they practice 5 times a week and they play, they're wearing it 5 out of 6 days. Obviously, the hits on game days are violent and they're there. Is there a shot? We're talking about, do you see this in games? And we're starting to talk, why not? I know it would be aesthetically odd, but there was a time where, they didn't wear helmets in hockey, and we got used to that. I'm certain that you could decorate these where you could have the Vikings logo or the Rams logo. I'm sure they could be decorated. Is there been talk about this going beyond practice and becoming something that is worn during games?
That's a great question. Definitely the biggest pushback is looks and then just something different, right? We would obviously have to make it look better and logo decalable. But at this point, we've just been focusing on practice. Like I said, just since that's the majority of the impacts.
Well, Tony, could you do it on the inside? I guess we had this conversation too. I guess would make the helmet bigger, but could you move the technology to the inside of the helmet if the biggest holdback is aesthetics? Now, I guess it wouldn't absorb it the same way, would it? It wouldn't work.
Right. Yeah. The soft, hard, and kind of what we've seen is just that soft, hard, soft. You obviously still need that hard material on the inside to, again, prevent skull fractures. But having the soft material inside and on the outside is just a better engineering model to mitigate the force.
Where did this idea come about? When did the technology start being developed to focus on something that could help football players in practice?
Yeah, so our owner is a material science engineer. He was actually a consultant on a project back in 2010 to build a full-scale soft shell helmet. And that's there was VC run. They kind of blew through the money. Long story there, but what they were left was with that data showing that soft, hard, soft is just a better engineering model. So, they felt the calling to create a low cost, affordable, a product that they can get out to market instead of, the expense of a new helmet. So they came up with the Guardian Cap, and the first high schools used them in 2012. Mm-hmm. And then we had Clemson and University of South Carolina started using them in 2013. So it's been on the field, longer than most people think. But definitely the last couple of years, it certainly picked up.
I want to clarify, when you say soft, hard, soft, you're talking, so for people who aren't familiar with the helmet, the inside of the hard shell is soft. It's typically air, you blow it up. But if there's a soft layer that's right up against your head, then the hard shell, and this would be the soft shell on top. Tony Plagman from Guardian Caps is with us. Tony, what is the material? Like I'm looking at it, I see all the different colors. What is the soft material that is absorbing these hits, if you're able to share the science?
Yeah. No, great question. It's pretty basic. It's a closed cell foam, so it's not going to pick up any weight, when it rains or in the washing machine. But it's just a lightweight closed cell a padding, so it's pretty simple.
You talk about affordability. I see they go for about $70, and I don't know if you do. A team buys 100 of them. If there's been any discount, what's been the response from teams? Obviously, it must be relatively positive if everybody's using it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's they don't want to hear it from me, right? A high school coach doesn't want to be sold on anything, so it's really been word of mouth. Coaches that have been using them love them. They feel like they're making a dent in injuries, and it's one of those things that'd be the $1 billion question. How many concussions are they preventing? And there's just no real way to study that at this point, just from a diagnosis standpoint. So we have a ton of anecdotal feedback saying teams are going from 10 to 1 or 2 or none. But unfortunately, and we try and be responsible in our marketing and not claim any of those. Obviously, the NFL said that they had a 52% reduction in concussions, and that's really the only thing, we use since that's the data that they have.
And how big of it is it for the future of the sport that, as you said, it started at the youth levels, it started at the lower levels, the health and safety of the young players. So, if they are one of those players that can play at the next level, continues the future of football.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the the veteran NFL guys were, what the heck is this thing? I'm not wearing that, or early on. And the rookies or the younger guys were like, yeah, I wore those in college. The last couple of years, I wore them in high school. So they're aware of it and have seen the benefits. So there's definitely not as much pushback from those guys. But obviously, the younger we can get a player using a Guardian cap, the better it's going to be for the longevity of his career. If he can reduce impact on each of those hits, obviously, we believe that it's going to be better in the long term for that player.
He's Tony Plagman. He's the director of sales and media relations for Guardian Caps. Guardian Caps are those soft shells that you see NFL players, college football players, high school players wearing on their helmets during practice. I'm going to go back to the stats a little bit because it sounds like we don't know. I see it on your website. It says that it reduces impact up to 33%, but you're saying you don't really have the data. We don't know how many concussions it's saving. So how are we measuring this? I mean, it makes sense. You would think it makes sense. Okay, we're softening blows, but so the science that goes behind saying, look, this absolutely is working. It is making it safer. It is protecting these young men. How do we know that? Where's that data coming from? And is that just going to take time?
Yeah, I think it's just going to take time. Even the best helmets, right? There's $1,700 helmets out there. They can't prove that their helmet prevents more concussions than a $50 helmet. There's just no way to prove that at this point. Like no product can prove that. So we know that the NFL did their own testing on Guardian Caps as independent research. Their newest algorithm is called HARM, Head Acceleration Response Metric. So they found an average reduction in harm of about 9 to 10%. Okay. And then there's a Stanford researchers did their own testing, independent testing on Guardian Caps as well, and they found an average, depending on the impact velocities, they did lower impact velocities and higher impact velocities. They found an average reduction in harm of 10 to 25%. So that's what we're going to hang our hat on, and using when we're marketing and selling to coaches and youth programs is what we can prove.
Well, what I do know is obviously people in football are buying into this. And in 2022, the NFL owners announced that the league would mandate the use of these Guardian Caps during the early part of training season. That was 2022, a year ago, for all offensive linemen and defensive linemen and tight ends and linebackers. And this year, the NFL expanded that mandate with expanded use at all practices, regular season, preseason, postseason, that include contact, that they will have this. So running backs, fullbacks, everybody. So obviously something's working. And Tony, it sounds like the only reason we're not doing it in games, we realize, gosh, they hit heads in practice, is aesthetics. So that sounds like your next trick is figure out how to make these things look good. And we may be seeing these in real college football games, high school football games, NFL games here in the next few years.
We'll keep working on that for sure. Yeah. Obviously once you change it changes. You have to start the testing and the research all over. So it may be a little while if we do get a game day version on, but we'll certainly working on that, and hopefully we can have something ready soon.
Appreciate the conversation. It's really fascinating technology, and I think everybody has seen it. And just goes, what the hell is it, and where'd it come from? So we just wanted to let our people, our listeners know, there is some science behind it. Where is it from? What's the background? Tony, appreciate the time that you spent with us.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Best to you. Tony Plagman is and again, if you could hit that. Tony Plagman is the Director of Sales and Marketing. Media Relations for Guardian Caps. It's kind of fascinating stuff, don't you think?
It's really important to the future of football, is to prevent as many injuries as possible, to get players ready to play the game and they can still hit and do what's needed in a practice while potentially reducing head injuries for the future of the sport. And what he brought up, and that's my thing, is that if it starts at the youth levels, it becomes something you're used to, you're accustomed to, and then it's just going to be part of what you do as you continue to get older and older in the sport.
How do you guys feel about if the only reason they're not using, if they're using them Tuesday through Saturday, the only reason they're not using them on Sunday is because the way it looks. I don't know. What do you guys? find a way to decorate the Guardian caps if they're in fact making things safer, right?
Yeah, I agree. When you think about it, it's just the aesthetics is the only thing holding it back. You kind of question the NFL. It's like,
what are we doing?
If you care so much about player health, then what does it matter if you see a logo?
A couple ounces, it's not going to change the game. And if you practice with it, it becomes what you're used to. Then you're not just going to be like, hey, man, I put this on my head and I couldn't turn and see the football. Yeah. How was I supposed to turn my head?
All right, I got big news when we come back in the National Football League. Remember we were talking about, 14 minutes ago, the Buccaneers hadn't named a starting quarterback? The Buccaneers have named a starting quarterback. What that means and why they went with this guy. Oh, yeah, and who he is. Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Buccaneers. How do we not know? We now know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have named a starting quarterback. Kyle Trask went, 21 for 20, whatever. Great game the other day. And Todd Bowles today said, Baker Mayfield is our starting quarterback. You will fill Tom Brady's shoes. Woohoo! Baker Mayfield. So he has started games for, this will be now 4 teams. He was the number 1 pick in 2018. Has anybody started 4 teams in 5 years? Their first 5 years in the league ever? This has to be the most, like the quickest anybody started for 5 teams or 4 teams in his first 5 years. He was the number 1 pick in the 2018 draft. He's been with the Browns, Rams, Panthers, and now he is the starting quarterback for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Zero surprise, right? I mean, I don't know what all the drama was about here. Zero surprise, right?
Zero surprise. It's the last hoorah for Baker Mayfield as a starter. I don't know what Tampa Bay was doing this offseason, man. They totally were. They shouldn't have been caught off guard because Tom Brady announced his retirement in February.
Oh, I don't know. The guy was 45. Did you think he might retire soon?
And free agency and potential trade conversations. And you're like, you know what? Let's give ourselves a shot with Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we start thinking about the future? He's 45. The oldest guy who's ever played the position in the history of the game. You think he'll retire soon? Nah, what the hell? And then the best you could do is this. So what does it mean going forward? I think it means they're in for a rough year. I think it means that they're in a division that isn't great, but they have their bye in week 5. Okay? I'm going to ask you what you think their record will be in week 5. They open up at Minnesota, home versus the Bears, who I know you love, home versus the Eagles, who were in the Super Bowl, and at New Orleans, who we all think is the favorite to win that division. Then they get their bye. Their record at the bye will be what? They could be 0-4?
1-3.
Who they beating? The Bears at home?
Bears or Saints?
I'll give them they beat the Bears at home. I'll give them 1-3. What are you thinking?
I'm looking at it like 0-4.
Could be.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough road for Tampa Bay this year. And coming off the bye, it doesn't get any easier.
No,
Detroit.
they get Detroit and Atlanta and Buffalo. I mean, no. But when you're them, there's who isn't tough? Seriously, when you're Tampa Bay, who's not tough? And I look at them and I'm like, okay, people are telling me Rachaad White's going to be a good running back. He was a 3rd-round pick out of Arizona State in 2022. He's the guy. Leonard Fournette's gone. Okay. I know they've got 2 really good receivers. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are really, really good. I look at their defense and it feels depleted to me. Levante David and Shaquille Barrett are still there. Maybe Vita Vea is good, but why are they going to be any good? It's up to Baker, right? And do you trust Baker? Is Baker a good NFL quarterback? Is Baker, not even good, is Baker an NFL quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Baker Mayfield, I think, will never reach his ceiling from year 3.
That was his ceiling.
Like, he won a playoff game in the NFL,
he
guys.
He did. So did Tim Tebow.
He went 11-5. Yeah. Tebow didn't do that.
No, he didn't do that.
So I think Baker Mayfield is going to settle in to be this guy. Back quarterback, maybe come in when there's a transition at quarterback. Team just didn't have the ability to immediately go from
that guy to that guy.
Starter for X amount of years to someone else. Like, this is Baker Mayfield's life now in the NFL. And I think Tampa Bay can absolutely be competitive with him because of the weapons. It's what version are they going to get. It's not going to be the 11-5 version, but if it's the average quarterback version, that team is going to be more competitive than anything because that's just who he is right now because he's a career 61% passer. That's below where you'd want an NFL quarterback. At least 60 is a bare minimum for these guys. So this is his role. It's settle in this season. I have high expectations. I don't think you're going to be the worst team that you see out there on the field. But we know this is who Baker Mayfield is now.
Where do they finish in that division? I think New Orleans and Atlanta are going to compete for the top. Are they better than Carolina?
Them finishing third.
So Carolina's the worst team in that division. Maybe. I just don't. I look at him and I think Baker is. Here's my biggest problem with it. And this is my biggest problem if I was a coach with a quarterback is inconsistency. I don't know which dude I'm getting every Sunday. Am I getting that dude who came back with the Rams and beat the Raiders in that unbelievable game when he was there for 2 days? Remember, was it a Thursday night game or whatever? He showed up on Tuesday and beat the Raiders, right? Or Monday. It was a primetime game. Maybe it was Sunday night and he showed up on Friday, whatever it was. Right? Am I getting that dude? Or am I getting the dude that played all those other games? And that's why he got released in Carolina and in Cleveland. Like, I like him. I love the swagger. By the way, the progressive commercials that he did in the Brown Stadium was maybe one of the best ad campaigns a football player has done in the last decade. It was better than Discount Double Check. It's better than State Farm and Jake from State Farm with Patrick Mahomes. Like, and those are fine. Was there a better ad campaign?
I always think about Peyton Manning saying, cut that meat, cut that meat.
That's a good one. Or Peyton and Eli, football on your phone, and football in your pants. And that one. That was good.
Peyton's good.
Any Peyton stuff is pretty good.
But you are right. I mean, that was when he's treating it like his house. And that was very,
with his
very
wife,
funny.
they were great.
Yeah.
They were great. As good an ad campaign as we found. I did get something on the text line. Appreciate this, actually. We were talking earlier. How many owners, when we were talking about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, you asked me, what do I think of Jerry Jones? And we had the conversation. And I said, I'm never a big fan when the owner is the face of the franchise. And we named 3 owners who are the faces of franchises. I said George Steinbrenner of the Yankees back in the 70s, Jerry Jones and Peter Trevisani of United. And this was an obvious one. I don't know why we didn't come up with this. The other owners who were the face of the team, Al Davis of the Raiders. All right, that's fair. Al Davis was, and he was very successful. Yeah, I absolutely give you that one. If you go through sports, man. What did J-Pole send us? He sent us Beckham before Messi got there.
Soccer doesn't count, J-Pole.
Was Beckham the face of Inter Miami?
He was. The only thing you knew about Inter Miami, if you happen to hear about it.
If you happen to know that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's actually pretty good. All right, when we come back, you got the red zone ready to go? Big 4 questions that DC has put together for JJ and I. Actually, really good stuff on NFL topics. Looking forward to getting into the red zone, including which of these 3 teams that weren't good but could be have the best chance to get into the playoffs this year. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
It's first and goal.
All right, guys. In Washington, D.C., Sam Howell looks like he might be the guy out there. If this is the case, the NFC East has a ton of talent at the quarterback position, but are they the best? So I ask you guys, which division has the best quarterbacks in the NFL?
AFC North.
Dog it. That's where I was going. I looked at him first. Dang it. I thought it was going off the charts to go there. I got to go somewhere else now. All right, go ahead. Tell me
Kenny
why.
Pickett, I think he's going to morph into that dude that wins a ton of games, but people are going to be like, well, is he elite? Is he good enough? So he's going to frustrate the Steelers fan base while winning 10 games plus a year for the next few seasons. Yes, I understand there's an unknown with Deshaun Watson, but he's not coming back from an injury, and he was easily a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the league. And oh, by the way, Lamar Jackson won an MVP and has a new offense.
So yes, damn it. I should have gone first. Yes, that's the answer. It's Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson could be spectacular or not, and Kenny Pickett's good. I guess the AFC East might be my next bet, and the bottom drops out. But I got Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, and Tua, and then if Mac Jones is my floor, I guess that might be the next place I go.
It's very comparable.
Second and goal.
All right, since they actually played some real football last night, I'm going to give the Commanders a second run here. Their wide receiver, Jahan Dotson, reveled in beating the Ravens. After the game, Dotson said, I was sitting in bed watching ESPN all day, and all you could hear about is this streak, the streak. So I feel like we just had the biggest preseason W in history. It was cool knowing that what they had on the line and that we could end that. Was last night's game the biggest preseason win ever?
I guess so, because it's the only preseason game that ever mattered. Give me one other preseason game that you remember that you cared about the score. So yeah, and not that it's a big deal. When you say biggest, it would have to go. You have to put biggest into perspective. Biggest of what? I mean, the biggest of the shorts. But yeah, because it's the only one that I can ever remember mattering at all. So biggest, but keep it in perspective. Yeah.
Absolutely, because we knew about this streak. Players were talking about it before the game, and you saw the intensity at the end of the game. They were playing to win that game, and it's a reminder when you're on the football field, Can these games look wonky at times? Sure. But when you're competing, you play to win the game, regardless of its regular season or preseason game. And it was fun.
And it was fun. Really fun.
3rd and goal.
All right, the Rams, Broncos, and Bears all had bad seasons last year. However, the Rams are getting healthy, the Broncos got a new coach, and the Bears have a quarterback that could become one of the most productive in the league. Of these 3 teams, which one makes the biggest jump this year?
It's Chicago Bears, because you're coming from a 3-win team into one that should be competing for a wild card position. Justin Fields is talented enough to be in that conversation. They invested in weapons around him. So that'd be my answer to both these questions. Biggest jump, Chicago Bears. Then I had to have it Bears, Rams, Broncos in the postseason race.
It's the Rams, because my guy Andrew Whitworth told me yesterday on the NFL Network that Matthew Stafford looks good, that he looks poised, like he's got a chip on his shoulder, like he's got something to prove, like he's got to prove that he's not washed up. And the defense is still good. They're 1 year removed from winning a Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp is healthy. Puka Nacua is going to be terrific. And I think they've got something to prove that it wasn't a 1 year fluke. Now, it might have been. I'll go Rams, Bears, Broncos on this. I'm not as high on the Bears as both of you guys are, although I love some of the additions they made. I think DJ Moore's a terrific addition to them. But the answer is the Rams, because what's the biggest position? What's the biggest difference maker? It's quarterback, and I think I'll take Matthew Stafford over Justin Fields.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, Jeff has mentioned the idea of having a preseason award for the guys that get a ton of hype then virtually disappear during the regular season. So, after 2 weeks, who's your preseason hype MVP?
The 4th string quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Another, 13 of 25 the other day, 164 yards. And he's made good use of the opportunity. Now, we're not going to see him all year. But he led a drive in the Hall of Fame game. He looked great. He came back and won that game, came from behind. He looked good in week 2 or 3. We will not see Dorian Thompson-Robinson because he's listed as 4 on the depth chart. But to me, your preseason MVP is Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA, the 4th string quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
It was a preseason all hype team. I love it. I do think there should be an MVP award for the preseason, because a lot of these guys, this is their moment in the sun. And while DTR has been a leader in a clubhouse, honorable mention, I'll give it to Drew Lock, because
he's always that guy.
Drew Lock has solidified himself as QB2. You see him in that rotation. Just trying to figure out, all right, who's kind of played enough to be in this conversation, and the one after DTR would be Drew Lock.
That's your in the red zone. You agree? You disagree? Got different opinions? We're open to them at 505-246-0610 or Jeff at sportsatomlabq.com and JJ at sportsatomlabq.com. All right, there's some breaking news this morning, and this is of some substance in Major League Baseball. Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco, really good player on a really good team, placed on administrative leave by Major League Baseball this morning amid multiple investigations into an alleged relationship that he has had with underage girls plural, in the Dominican Republic. He's 22. He's missed the past week. The Rays put him on the restricted list. He's being investigated by the Dominican police and Major League Baseball's Department of Investigation. So far, there have been no charges filed. Prosecutor last week said a division of specializing in minors and gender violence is directing a police investigation. Look, man, I don't know the details. I know that there have been posts on social media with Wander Franco with, again, these are reports. Girls as young as 14 years old. And I know some of you, like some of you said flippantly, dude's 22 years old. He's a big league star. He can get whatever he wants. We got a problem. We got a real problem. Major League Baseball put out a statement this morning. The administrative leave, effective immediately, is not disciplinary under the Joint Domestic Violence, Sexual Assault, and Child Abuse Policy. We will comment further at the appropriate time. That was a quote. You guys, this can get so gross. Like this, I didn't mean to drag this thing to a screeching halt, but this just came down.
Yeah.
This can get disgusting. I hope it doesn't. But baseball's been investigating Franco. There were social media messages August 13th, what's today, the 22nd? That alluded that he was having a relationship with a girl under the age of consent. Age of consent is 18 in the Dominican Republic. So a prosecutor in the DR, where Franco's hometown is Bani, told the AP last week that an investigation with a minor involved is in its early stages. A newspaper had reported a 17-year-old girl filed a complaint with the Attorney General against Franco back in July. And then the social media storm started on the 13th. That prompted the Rays to keep Wander Franco from joining the team when it went out west. They played the next day. Tampa Bay and the player, Wander Franco, agreed for him to spend the next week on the restricted list. And he's out for a while on administrative leave. He's in the second year. So who's Wander Franco? Some of you are saying, who is this guy? Is he any good? Dude is in the second year of an 11-year, $182 million contract. He's having a breakout season. He's hitting 281, 17 home runs, stole 30 bases, made it the All-Star game for the first time. We're talking about one of baseball's young stars. Right? I mean, this isn't just some dude now. This is a pretty legit young player that has gnarly allegations up against him.
This is Major League Baseball, what you do. Boom, take him off the field, get him away from that team. Well, the investigation goes on into this.
That just came down this morning. All right, when we come back, I'll get you everything you need to know as you go forward today. Also, Bill Belichick, greatest coach ever. Greatest coach ever. Where I just said, hey. On Taylor Swift. Wait, what? Bill Belichick on Taylor Swift. Oh, I know you want to hear that. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Carl Dukes with a CBS Sports Minute.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
summer, you know somebody who did, right?
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't you, you know somebody who saw Taylor Swift. I told you, I saw Taylor Swift. Right? She puts on a hell of a show. Well, I mean, you want to know what Bill Belichick thinks, right? He was doing a radio interview on WEEI, the Greg Hill Monday Morning Show yesterday. And he was, I don't know if he asked about Taylor Swift? Was he just talking about her? I don't know, but man, nobody can break it down like old Uncle Billy can.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
she
killed it.
She's tough, man. She just stood out there and played right through it. And then they gave, what's his name, a hard time, Luke, because they pulled the plug on him. That was lightning. I understand that. When there's lightning in the area, we head off the field too. So I can't really. I think he could last through a rainstorm. He's a pretty tough guy, but yeah, Bruce. It's always when I was with the Giants, it was Bruce and Bon Jovi. I mean, you got the two Jersey guys were
Bill Belichick
at the top, and they probably still are. But always great to see John, Bruce in action. Sure, bring a lot of energy. Get the whole place rocking. So, dancing in the dark.
Yeah. Well,
so, are you officially? Do you consider yourself to officially be a Swiftie now?
Officially, I don't know about that, but I don't know what officially is.
Seems like Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like you have a sweatshirt or something?
You can have a few.
Yeah.
Good
I think you can sing some of the lyrics. It's I don't know. I mean, they were selling rainwater.
They handled it pretty good. So obviously she played through the rainstorm. He says she's tough, man. She just stood out there and played right through it. Would that be priceless? Can he wear a Taylor Swift cutoff hoodie?
That would be great.
I mean, that'd be priceless, wouldn't it?
Did it in the last preseason game.
All right, so is that the most at ease he sounded, period, ever in an interview in the last decade?
In an interview, yes.
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever heard him sound relaxed.
Like he sounds like a human. Did you see the 30 for 30 they did with him and Parcells? You should watch that. The two Bills, or is that what they called it? I just saw it again about a few weeks ago. You should watch that. He's actually he's a human. He's actually pretty funny. Like his persona at press conference, that's his character. And I will give him so much credit because he doesn't break it. So he is. I mean, officially, what does officially mean? Cincinnati. No, he's so damn good.
Yeah, I've always heard he's really funny in person.
Yeah, that's what people say.
Did you know he's said that to someone this preseason? It's like, where's the toughness? I'll watch Taylor Swift be on this field for 3 hours in the rain.
Yeah.
And you can't handle an hour of practice?
I watched Taylor Swift for 3 hours in the rain. Where's your toughness? Yeah. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Dan.
Hey, fellas. How you doing? Hey, listen, man, I don't mean to change the subject, but I was watching the news today, and they had that Spanish soccer guy who gave the kiss to the girl. They made a big thing out of it.
Yeah.
So I watched it. And you know what it reminded me of?
Nope.
Michael Corleone kissing Fredo down in Cuba.
Can't do it.
I mean, there was nothing behind this thing at all. I figured the guy was going to tell her, you're never going to play soccer again.
You can't do it.
I didn't find anything offensive about it or anything. And I just thought it was a nothing thing as compared to what you're talking about with the shortstop from
those
from
are
Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
two different things there. But it was nothing. It looked like Corleone's down there doing things down in Cuba. That's all.
Yeah, but they don't do that. In international football, you can't do that anymore, Dan.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, anyway, it ain't the mob. All right, fellas, have a good day, huh?
If you're not familiar with it, the head of, was it the Spanish Soccer Football Federation? When Spain won the Women's World Cup, he, during the celebration, put his hands, did he grab the young lady by the face? How would you define that? He grabbed her by the face and kissed her on the lips. And she didn't like it, and people lost their minds. And
as you should, dude, because if someone grabs your significant other and just kissed them on the lips.
You can't do it anymore. Can't do it. Same Don Corleone kissing.
You shouldn't do that anytime. You can't do it now. Kiss someone on the lips that's not expecting it.
You kind of could do it back in the day. Now, I'm not telling you it was right. You kind of could back in the day. I'm not telling you it was right, but you can't do it.
I think that's a simple thing we can all realize. But man, that Spanish Soccer Federation, woo! Like all bets are off. We won the World Cup.
He apologized, so somehow it's okay. All right, here's what you want to know as you go through your day. First and foremost, Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Bowles named his quarterback this morning, beating out Kyle Trask. Major League Baseball has put Wander Franco on administrative leave, investigating relationships that he potentially had with underage girls in the Dominican Republic. USC has a new athletic director, Jen Cohen from Washington, an Aztec, by the way, is the new athletic director. She was introduced yesterday at the University of Southern California. Daraje Agboaji is a Lobo. He transfers from North Alabama. Former El Dorado star. Terrific high school player is coming home. And last night, what DC said might be the most significant preseason victory in the history of NFL preseason. The Commanders beat the Ravens 29-28 on a 49-yard Joey Sly field goal with 9 seconds to go, and it broke the Ravens' 24-game preseason win streak that dates back to 2015. That's what you need to know. That's what people are going to be talking about as you keep going through your day. So when did you guys know about this streak the whole time? The whole preseason you've known about this streak. How did I miss that? I didn't know about it till yesterday.
It is still preseason football. And as much as we love football, there's still preseason football storylines that don't get your attention.
Yeah. All right, there's some good conversations we had. If you weren't with us all day, go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com, click on the opening drive, and you can listen or anywhere you get podcasts. Jerry Kill, New Mexico State's football coach, was with us this morning discussing the opener this Saturday. That's 4 days away, and what it means to have ESPN in Aggie Memorial Stadium on ESPN1 for the first time in 17 years, open up the season. Good conversation with him. And then we spoke with a gentleman named Tony Plagman from Guardian Caps. Guardian Caps are those kind of bubble wraps on the helmet, right? Explaining what they are, the technology, and how close we might be to wearing those during regular season games. Two good conversations, and if you want to hear those again or miss them, you can get those wherever it is that you get podcasts. One good note, well, I don't know, good. One note that could have been worse coming out of last night's game. You saw Terry McLaurin, the Washington Commanders' number one receiver, limp off the field after making a catch at the end of the first half. He's their number one wideout. He had a really good season last year. X-rays negative on his toe, so they're going to rest him. Toe injuries scare me a little bit, boys and girls. Toes, hamstrings, high ankles.
Cut off the toe.
What's wrong with you? All right. Yeah, just go into the trainer. All right, Terry, you don't need that. Lop it off. Yeah, lop it off.
That was Ronnie Lott, right?
Finger,
It was
right?
a finger. Ronnie Lott was a finger.
That's right.
Yeah, Ronnie Lott was a finger. But if you cut off your big toe, you can't wear flip-flops anymore. What?
That's problematic.
Seriously.
You're going to be a sandal guy.
Yeah, then you got to wear like
Flip-flops.
slide sandals. I got a lot of flip-flops. I mean, I grew up in
The
Southern
big toe,
California.
the
I
big
wear-
toe could be a problem.
Yeah.
One of the little toes, you're fine.
So
Move
if it's
on.
just like your fourth and fifth
Move
toe,
on.
you would feel that immediately, by the way. Like if one of your toes just disappeared, you would miss it way more than you think you do. Balance
Nah, one of
wise,
the little toes. One of the
you're
little
good.
ones in
You
the
just
middle,
wanted to
you're good.
take my toe. I don't
Yeah.
need it.
One of the little ones I can
You
live
are
without.
so mistaken.
Big toe, turf toe, this stuff. Yeah, that's going to mess you up.
So you're saying don't
One of the low
heal it,
ones,
just
boom.
lop it off.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to mess with that.
I'm going to guess he's going to keep his toes. I mean, that's just me guessing. I haven't seen the official word yet from Terry McLaurin on whether or not he's going to keep his toe. But I'm going to guess he's opted to keep his toe and hope it heals.
See, I'm on the other side. I think he's done with the toe.
You think he's taking it off?
No.
You think he's getting rid of the toe?
Depends on if it's a big toe, you keep it.
You can't lose the big
It's a
toe,
big
right?
toe.
We all agree. What about the second toe? Because how are you going to wear flip flops if there's that big gap between 2 and 3?
Who wears flip flops?
I do. A lot of, what do you mean? who
Everyone,
wears-
show me a dude.
Go around and watch.
It's all slides, I bet.
Go where? Where am I going?
The locker rooms. Post game.
Yes, locker room. Those guys.
Slides.
People wear slides.
Yeah.
But people wear flip flops everywhere, dude.
I wear flip flops, yes.
Everybody.
But
people
the
wear
style
flip-flops.
is slides. In the
What
locker
style?
room.
In the locker room. Okay, but it's
And
more than
where
just
is Terry
locker room
McLaurin?
style.
In a locker.
Well, he's in the locker room when he's at work.
Yes.
Where's he when he leaves?
Wherever his
And by the way,
Mercedes-Benz takes
if you put on the slides and you got a big gap between toe 1 and 3, You got to explain it. Then you got to explain it. And then people are going to be staring.
Like I'm a football player, bro.
Then they don't want to stare, but they're going to stare, but they don't want to stare, but they're going to stare.
Talking about a story. Committed to your craft. You gave a toe for the game.
But now you understand how important each toe is to your balance and your speed. It will affect your balance and your speed. You're better off healing the toe.
If my pinky toe was
off.
better, I could have made the NFL.
No, that's not right. That's not right. The pinky toe doesn't get you. You don't strengthen your pinky toe to get you the NFL or take steroid shots in your pinky toe. No, but if you
I had
lose
better
it,
toes,
but
I
if
would have made the league.
Why do you think we have 5 toes? Do you think, well, they're just disposable?
There's certain things we have that we don't need.
Like what?
In your appendix.
Yeah, you probably don't need an appendix. All right. But what else? Like, why do you think we have 5
Gallbladder.
toes? That's not right.
Gallbladder's use them, but
the
it's like
gallbladder
they can
does
go-
something. I don't know what the hell
but
it
it can
does, but I
go-
promise you it does something. Wouldn't you rather have your gallbladder than not?
Taking organs and toes out.
Yeah, here, just remove this stuff. Oh, dude ruptured his spleen. Remember when somebody had a ruptured spleen?
Spleens. That Chris Sims that happened to him.
And he was playing. Dude was playing through the ruptured spleen. I mean, I don't know who's tougher, him or Taylor Swift.
She did 3 hours in the rain.
Probably 3.5, dude. Because when I saw
Does
it,
she
it
have a
was
song about
3:40.
that?
Probably.
3 hours in the rain.
She probably will.
Probably an angry, and every girl will sing every word of every song.
Somehow her ex-boyfriend created the rain.
100%. It's all tears. It's the tears of all of her friends. Promise. All right. What do I get tonight? I get baseball tonight, huh? I mean, that's kind of where I am tonight. Did you, by the way, and I got a text from Ned. I didn't hit this. Did you see the sprint yesterday?
There's been some great races.
Racing. So Ned said we finally beat the Jamaicans in the sprints. Sha'Carri Richardson win is big. We've been getting stomped for a decade by men and women from Jamaica. Like, that was a big deal when Sha'Carri Richardson won the 100 yesterday. I watched that thing like 10 times. It was amazing to me. I mean, yeah, it's people running for 9.4 seconds or whatever it was. Pretty damn
10
cool.
seconds.
In the relay race, and that right at the end, the United States won because that lady fell. Oof.
Winner.
Stay on your feet. You know why you sit on her feet, Jeff? Had all her toes.
All her toes. I promise. Tony Plagman was with us from Guardian Caps. Thanks to him. Jerry Kill as well. That's available via podcast if you would like them. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4, and it's Isotopes and I believe Oklahoma City this evening. Josh Sushan will have that. We're back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with award-winning radio for you. Adrian, great work. DC, terrific work. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.